Old for Christ YouTube channel here. I want to talk about some end time prophecy stuff. I want to talk about the Antichrist being revealed and coming on the scene. I believe it's going to be sometime this year. I'll kind of tell you why. But what I'm wondering is, obviously who. I have some ideas I'll go over here. And B, when the Antichrist comes on the scene. What I'm wondering is if, because the devil likes to duplicate and counterfeit everything God does. So I'm wondering if the devil's going to also choose the Feast of the Trumpets. We know Christ returns on the Feast of the Trumpets. But in 2030 is what I'm thinking right now. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But I'm wondering, will the devil or will the Antichrist be revealed on the Feast of the Trumpets? And who will it be? Now, I'm thinking it's obviously going to be a pope of some sort, a new pope being announced. I think that new pope is going to be the first ever Jewish pope, which is going to make huge headlines. First ever Jewish pope. And I'm also wondering if the King of England is somehow tied to this. The King of England is also the head of the Anglican Church, or the Church of England. And so you take these three elements, the Pope, the King, and a Jew, and you tie them all together, and voila, I think you've got the perfect Antichrist. We'll see if it'll be all three of those or an element of any of those three. Or what. So let's just see how that plays out. If you see a pope announced sometime this year in 2023 or early 24, you can bet your bottom dollar that is the Antichrist. You can bet your bottom dollar that Jesus is 7 years away from that moment, or 6.5 years, because he returns a little early. And then the last 6 months is him pouring out God's wrath on the earth, destroying basically the whole earth for a period of 6 months and destroying the sinners. We know in Isaiah 13:9 it says that Jesus Christ is going to return to lay the land desolate and to destroy the sinners thereof out of it. And of course, how is he going to do that? He's going to do that with fire. So yes, all sinners will be destroyed, and that's you, Calvinists. I'm talking to you. You will be destroyed. You call yourself sinners. I'm not having to judge you. You judge yourself. You call yourself sinners. You say you sin in thought, word, and deed every day. So yes, all the Calvinists, they have a false Christ. They are sinners. They are going to be destroyed when Jesus Christ returns. They will not be spared the wrath of God. Especially the fact that they also say Jesus is coming pre-trib, which I don't believe pre-trib. I believe pre-wrath. So that means that we'll have an Antichrist. We'll have 6 years of that Antichrist, and then the last 6 months will be cut short by the return of Jesus Christ. His church will be taken up, and then he'll dump God's wrath out on the earth. I'm going to pause for 1 second. Okay, so I want to tip you off to a couple great YouTube channels. If you're not watching them, you should be watching them. One of them is, I think the YouTube channel is the same as the documentary they made. It's called Messiah 2030. If you haven't seen that, I advise you watching Messiah 2030. It's a documentary which gives a couple dozen prophecies about Jesus Christ returning on the 7th day. 1,000 days to us, 1,000 years to us is a day to the Lord. He created the earth in 6 days, rested on the 7th. That would be 6,000 years that we've been on this earth. And then he's going to return, and then we're going to rest with him for 1,000 years, being the 7th day symbolic of the 7th day of creation. So watch this movie, Messiah 2030. It's a very good movie. Up until this movie came out, I wasn't 100% sure if Christ is coming in 2030, 2033, 2036. I know he's close, but I was telling people between the next 7 and 15 years. Now I believe it's the next 7 years. I could still be wrong, but that's what I believe. The major tell is going to be if the Antichrist is revealed in the next, 6 months or so. Will the Antichrist be revealed soon? If the Antichrist is revealed soon, Christ is definitely coming in 2030. Another good YouTube channel to watch is the AOC Network. They're pretty solid. I don't agree with 100% of any of the doctrine of anybody I'm telling you, but I can tell you I can agree with 98% of what they're saying, and they got some good information. They put out some good videos, they definitely have insight from the Lord in the stuff they're putting out. So AOC Network, Messiah 2030, There's also a guy, it's called the School of Prophets. Now, this guy's, I think he's a Seventh-day Adventist, but he says everything really good. I don't agree with any kind of religion. I don't agree with being part of any religious group whatsoever. But I could be wrong about what this guy is. First of all, I could be speaking in human error, and he's not a Seventh-day Adventist. B, he is a Seventh-day Adventist. If he is, I still agree with this video that he did. It's called America to Babylon, and of course it uses the number 2 symbol. America, the number 2 symbol, Babylon. Google that. The name of his video, his channel is called School of Prophets. It's a very good video talking about what the mark of the beast will be. And he makes a lot of sense in it. So, will the Antichrist be revealed on the Feast of Trumpets this year? I don't know. It's possible because the devil does duplicate and counterfeit everything that God does. And of course, the devil knows the Bible and Bible prophecy way better than any man on this earth. And so I wouldn't put it past the devil to use that date to reveal the Antichrist, because you see that the whole idea behind the whole pre-trib rapture teaching is they want people to believe when this Antichrist is revealed that this is actually the Jesus Christ, right? So that's the whole idea about it, about teaching people that is they want everybody to look to this man as the Christ, because they've taught everybody that Jesus comes first, which is a lie. The Antichrist comes first, and Jesus Christ comes 6.5 years after that. Okay, so that's what I believe. Pre-wrath rapture. I feel like I'm kind of going in circles here. I'm trying to think if there's anything I missed out on. But again, I believe the Antichrist is going to be the Pope. I believe it's going to be the first Jewish Pope. And it might have something to do with the King of England. I don't know if Charles has any Jewish bloodline in him, which we might find that out. I don't know if he's going to relinquish his seat for this new Jewish Pope, because, the whole world is working together for this one-man, one-world government. So it wouldn't surprise me if the King of England, who's also the head of the Church of England, vacates his seat in honor of this new Pope, who's the first Jewish Pope, who will reign as the king of this world for a time period.